Hi there all. Right, it's quite a nice part of the day. It's Friday, first day of my personal lockdown because I've been in work all week, although I'm getting quite happy with it, to be honest, if it goes on like this. Lovely day outside. All my powder coating came back yesterday, spot on. So just there's the swing arm now with all the relevant scratches and digs out of it all disappeared. Warren RPA has done an actually amazing job with it. Really good, as you can see. Here's some of the other parts. I've driven the bearings back in, so there's the dog bone, which is nice and clean, as you can see. Everything's had an undercoat as well, so it has the powder coat, but it has an undercoat on it as well, like a weatherproof undercoat. So all the bits here look absolutely spot on, new. I mean, I'm not going to be going back in sort of under that part there. I'm not going to be able to go back in there for a long while, not unless the engine has to come out for any reason. So I kind of thought it made sense to do all these bits now. I've got a load of nice titanium bolts to go in there to bolt everything back together. Again, not going to be going back in there, so they won't tarnish and they won't rust, which is spot on, really good. I've just driven the bearings back in using a bearing driver, so the roller bearings are back in there, space is back in. There's a roller bearing on this side, and then there's this sort of big bearing on the outside. So yeah, they weren't too that. To be honest, I was actually looking for someone with a press, but because of the fact that everyone's been made to stay home at the moment, I thought, well, I may as well try it with a bearing driver. So I borrowed one of those from my mate. Worked fine. Didn't really have to hammer it that hard. I thought I was going to be knocking 7 colours of shit out of it, but no problems at all. So I'm going to start putting the whole thing back together. It's sort of Friday afternoon at the moment. I was going to start it tomorrow, but couldn't help myself. I had to come out and see if I could get those roller bearings back in, because that was the bit that I was kind of fretting over. But spot on, really good. So the next thing now is to start building this here's a little catch tank, to get the catch tank back in and get all the catch tank framework all plumbed back in, and then put the swing arm back on. Pretty plain sailing from now on, so I'll come back when it's all back together. As I say, I'm not clever enough to have a mount with a camera running, and I'll probably fuck some up as well while I did it, because I'll be thinking about the fact that the camera's running, and I wouldn't even be able to edit it anyway. So, but it's not too bad a job. Everything that I've done, I've put on the UK Z forum, which I think if you go looking, it's uk.proboards or something like that. It's the Z1000 owners forum, UK one. So that's where I've got a thread running at the moment. So I've just been putting pictures up there. So there you go. I'll come back in a bit when it's all back together.